Well, families across South Carolina are watching insurance premiums steadily climb while the promise of protection feels increasingly out of reach. For many, like my next guest, the system has felt deeply unfair, especially after losing her husband and home to a fire and then facing delays and denials when she needed her coverage the most. We want to welcome Jayne Pate and her attorney, Kevin Dean, from the Motley Rice law firm. Thank you both so much for coming on. I don't mean to open up old wounds when we discuss this, but you have so much courage to come forth and to share your experience to hopefully help others. First of all, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
When did this tragedy strike?
It was August 16th, 2025.
So this is very fresh for you.
It's very fresh.
Okay. And when it happened, I'm sure everything was just, in absolute shambles. But still, you need to do certain things to get your life in order. And when you lose a house, not just your beloved husband, we have things in place like insurance policies to help you get back on your feet. So what was that experience like when you needed to start making those phone calls?
Well, there's two different experiences, I would say. And I had personal property with one insurance and company, and Mike was paying that out of a checking account that I wasn't on. So one, I was scrambling to I was in fear of loss of having the policy canceled. And I was just trying to figure that all out.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, well, it's really hard to remember everything that happened in that month, but
a fog, I'm sure.
I think August 27th, I ended up paying the premium out of my account to cover it. So it took...
But you stayed on time and you made the payments in good faith.
I did make the payments in good faith, but there was a time when I thought that it wouldn't happen. Now, for the house insurance, they brought me a gift basket, a business card. They did everything to help me for that piece of it.
Yeah,
it was the two policies that I had with a certain company that really weren't helpful.
And so they were making things difficult. So essentially, they had first denied your claim?
They didn't ever deny a claim.
Okay.
I went in to personally meet with her because I feel like, if you have an interaction personal, it always seems like it works better. And I had mentioned how difficult it was to try to get all of these accounts for me to pay them because I didn't have access. And she actually said, we've been over backwards for you, and after this transaction, we don't ever have to talk again.
So needless to say, their bedside manner was nil.
Nil, and I would say it's intimidating, right? It creates a hostile environment, and it really makes you, if you're not strong, be intimidated by that situation and not go forward with what you need to do to get done.
That's kind of what they do. They're a little bit the gatekeeper, right?
Yeah.
So when did you decide that you needed representation?
Well, Kevin was already representing me because of the house fire. So I don't know what date I called you.
How did things start to change once you stepped in?
Well, unfortunately, insurance companies, because of the lack of legislation, they pretty much can treat the public, the consumers, the policyholders, however they want to. They intimidate, they deny claims, they underestimate, underpay claims. And when a lawyer steps in, then, things can change. And
you have to be a bit of a pit bull.
You have to be a little bit of a pit bull, and there was a little change, but this is an interesting case because she had an exact amount the insurance was to pay for her personal property losses. It was stated on the policy, on the face of it. Yeah. They, till this day, have refused to pay that amount and are using some provision buried in the back page of the policy to avoid paying their full amount of what her husband and her understood they were paying for 13 years.
What's the discrepancy, if you can ballpark it?
Because the face of the declaration page does not say they're going to go out and get an appraisal in order to pay the claim. It says this is the amount that the personal property value is if you have a loss. Well, what they've done is gone out and got an appraisal and said, hey, by the way, the amount we're going to pay you is the appraised value of the loss, not what was stated on the face of the policy. that's a misrepresentation. That's taking advantage of a policyholder in this state, and something needs to be done about it.
And when you start getting into the back pages of a policy, which basically no one reads.
Nobody does.
No one reads, so you have no idea what it even says. So would you say that they're taking advantage a little bit of the fact that it's just a bunch of fine print for days?
I would say, yeah, absolutely, because I really thought that was the value.
Yeah.
And I went out and had an independent appraiser where I actually worked with them, and it came in 10,000 over. So I felt like, oh, okay, this is my back pocket.
So
I
now
think
you're
they'll
feeling
just,
like it's
I'll
going to
get
be
the claim, right?
Yeah.
I'll get the claim, but then they still didn't give me the claim amount.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of insurance companies are in the business to take your money and not pay out in good faith.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's been a trend? What are you seeing as a trend generally?
Yeah,
speaking?
so there's an old adage that insurance companies make money by denying claims.
Yeah.
That's how they make money.
Yeah.
They take your premiums. If you don't pay the premium on time, they will cancel your policy.
Mm-hmm.
They use credit scores, for example, to charge additional premium to someone who can't afford it. We've got all these different things going on with insurance companies and how they treat the public up front. But when you need them, like a good neighbor,
Yeah.
when you need them, they're not
weren't
there.
there.
They nickel and dime you, and
Yeah.
they delay. And the more they delay, they keep your money in their bank account, drawing interest.
Yeah, of course. All right, this is a good place to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk more about some of the legislation and what's being done to maybe change the tide that we've been experiencing all these decades. It seems to be getting worse and worse. Let's see if things can be better in the future. We'll do that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We've been sitting here talking with Jayne Pate and her attorney Kevin Dean from the Motley Rice Law Firm about your very tragic loss. Losing a home, losing your husband is one of the most difficult things for anyone to go through. And then to need to have an insurance company with a little bit of empathy and do their due diligence to make sure that you've been given everything that you've been paying for all these years is very frustrating when they try not to. Now, what have you seen in terms of changes in legislation? Because we live in South Carolina, storm season is upon us. We're finding it harder and harder to get insurance because no one wants to cover us.
Right.
So what's happening up at the Capitol?
You know, I think some of it goes back to what we saw going on the last few years in Florida and out in California with all these big fires, all these hurricanes and things of that nature, and policyholders in those states getting stuck with a bill and not having their insurance company there when they need it. So those states have been looking at legislation to force the insurance companies to provide more information and data on why they're raising folks' rates. We know in South Carolina, since 2020, auto insurance has increased by 55%, and I don't know anybody that has seen a decrease in their homeowners insurance in recent memory.
No,
So,
not at
so
all.
what we need to do is we need our legislature to follow the current states like Florida, Louisiana, Missouri, North Carolina, Texas, that are implementing laws that say, look, if you're going to raise our rates and you're going to fight with us when we file a claim, then you need to be giving us a justification, some transparency. I mean, why are you raising these rates?
Right. Yeah.
That's all I think that's all anyone is asking for is an explanation, and right now the public's not getting it.
Well, what about competition? Because we've got a lot of insurance companies that have left the state.
Yeah.
So you're left with one or two. You only have this binary choice, and they're both expensive.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but you have to have it.
Yeah, so that's another good point. I mean, insurance in a lot of situations is mandatory. You have a home mortgage, you can't get the home mortgage without property insurance
That's
on
right.
your home.
Yeah.
You can't get auto insurance in the state because the state requires you to have it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have insurance, don't you think the policyholders are entitled to some transparency when they start increasing premiums? And, you know, I think if you asked the insurance companies and really delved into the data, if they were required to produce it, a lot of the reason the rates are going up is claims they've had over the years of hurricanes, these big losses.
Yes. Oh, well, sure. Exactly. So what is being introduced right now that you think might actually take effect in the near future that people can maybe see some relief?
We've got a very responsive leadership in the South Carolina House, and and they have an ad hoc committee. They're looking at some of these insurance reforms that need to take place. I believe there's a few bills that have come out over the last week or so, and you know, I just hope that they do what has been done in our surrounding states to get some more transparency. Our insurance commissioner just has no authority, and he's testified in recent weeks before the commission, before the House. He needs the authority to force insurance companies to provide information, and they're not doing it right now.
Yeah, and is there anything for consumers that they can do to take matters into their own hands to help change?
Well, first of all, when you get an insurance bill and you see your premiums going up, I'd be writing letters asking why.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get a response, but at least you've asked the question. The other thing you can do is contact your local legislator, whether they be the South Carolina House or the South Carolina State, and say, look, we want more transparency. We want to know why our rates are going up. We need we're entitled to an explanation.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you feel you would have done differently had you?
I probably would have changed. I probably would have changed insurance companies, if you want to know the truth.
Really?
And I have done that since. Yes.
Yes, I would imagine so.
And I think everything I've read is people are not loyal to their agent anymore. They're just shopping insurance because the prices are going up.
That's exactly what I do. I look for the cheapest amount based off of the same information, and whoever gives me the lowest dollar amount is who I end up going with, right? Well, I really appreciate you sharing your story with me again. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for sharing all this, because I think, you know, a lot of people can relate. We all pay insurance in one way or the other, and it's about time that things change.
Something's got to stop.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be back after this.